have a new chapter of Kaguragochi. Kaguragochi. So Kagurabachi, a brand new chapter. Honestly, bro, I'm very hyped. Dude, I kid you not. When I compare my initial reaction to when I began to read this manga, like the first, like how much I cringed at the first 5 chapters and how much I'm hyped for the next chapter that comes out. Like that's character development right there. That is character development, bro. So Kagurabachi, brand new chapter, chapter 55. And I gotta say, man, I am impressed. I am very happy. I am very much happy with what is happening. And yeah, I am enjoying this manga so much. So let's get on with this. Let's get on with Kagurabachi. So Kagurabachi chapter 55. What happened? So we start off the chapter with, our goat just fighting these guys off and using his technique. Sadly though, these guys have very much found a way to counteract his technique, like the way he does things, which again, that was implied at the very beginning of this arc. Uraha, I think that's her name, Uraha, basically implied that if they get used to his technique, they're gonna find a way to counteract it. And basically what they're doing is they're like dulling his senses with a lot of explosions, a lot of sounds, with like the tree to kind of get in his way. So they really are doing all of this to like mess with his head. So like if they explode things around him, he pays more attention to the explosions than like to the people around him. So it's again, very great tactics, honestly. I feel like if this guy had an enchanted blade, bruh, he would be like just one-shotting all of these people. So it's very good. Again, I like the balancing. This arc, this manga reminds me a little bit of like the OG Naruto, where like it didn't really matter how big of a fucking Rasengan you could make. What really mattered was how you used techniques. Like for example, Naruto and Sasuke in the Zabuza arc, they were nowhere near the level of Zabuza, but with their tactic of the Demon Wind Shuriken, they were pretty close to just putting this guy in checkmate. So back when Naruto was more about tactics than who has the biggest fucking Rasengan, the fourth Great Ninja War was a mistake anyway. So, and that's kind of like what they're doing here. So it's basically a little bit about, these guys are pretty OP, these guys are pretty strong, but they're using tactics to nullify what these people can do. So he can use the clanking of the sword when he sheathes it again to kind of like in a Daredevil-ish kind of way, like that's not how Daredevil works, but it's a little bit more complex than that. But you know what I mean? Like through like the sound, he can pinpoint where people like are. So the fact that they're using sound and things with no will, like the trees, to distract him, again, it's helping them get the upper hand. And I like that in a way justifies how they could potentially beat him, how they could potentially defeat him. So that's really, really, really good. And I very much like that. I very much enjoy that. But what we did not expect was for this guy to have a task force to help him. So basically his task force just kind of comes in and they have special techniques to like help him out. So they use stealth. Like they neutralize their scent, and they nullify all sound and hostile energy. So basically they are the perfect combination for this guy. And I love that he kind of like notices that, because they are not like on his radar. Like they don't exist on his radar, so he can just go ham and they help him. Like if he's turning forward a person, he doesn't see them, but they are behind him, probably like just helping him out. And I love that the fact that they are so in tune with each other, that the fact that he's feeling the enemies like being diminished, is like a sign of him of like, okay, these guys are here, So they don't interfere with his ability to detect the enemy because they have no scent, they have no sound, and they just use stealth. So they do not exist in his battlefield, but they help him fight. So it's really cool because again, they are basically, they exist to remove obstacles and not to like put a hinder on him, which is very good. Which is the reason why because again, he bases himself on sound, which I'm surprised he doesn't detect people's like spirit energy, because we did get told by Chihiro and I forgot the name of this kid, but this one kid from the Sazanami, that, you know, your spirit energy is basically your own essence. So I'm surprised that this swordsman hasn't really gotten to the point where he, you know, like uses his spirit energy to detect other people, but he doesn't do that, because he just hears the sound and he attacks where the sound is. So if you're there, like it happened with Uraha, you're gonna get clapped by him. So that's why these guys are like specially made to work alongside him, because they make no sound, they make no sense, and just they are basically invisible to him. Which is very like, that's very dangerous, because if they decide to work against him, that's where, you know, that's where there could be a problem. So yeah, I think that's like the thing that could happen. And what I enjoyed about this chapter is seeing Samura basically like detect Uraha, and like they clash with each other, but Uraha is basically like they're face to face, but he anticipated Samura's swordplay and, you know, just was able to counteract. Which again, it's pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Because he was able to like neutralize him and just not like hinder him at all. Which is good. Again, it just goes to show how incredibly powerful and incredibly skilled these you know, these katana fight, like these samurai are, because he's able to like, he's basically going to get himself in danger, but he's going to adapt to him so that he doesn't get in his way. So that's really interesting. I like that. It's really cool. So I feel like, again, it feels like, you know, they could get the upper hand now against this guy, this sorcerer. And then we got the goat. I keep forgetting the goat's name, but like the kid with the white hair from the Sazanami, I keep forgetting his name. But the goat, he's like, everybody's sacrificing their life, I gotta do the same. And he opens up his you know, I guess his storehouse. What might happen is he might take them all to the storehouse so that they don't cause any more, you know, problems. So he might take them all to the storehouse so that they can fight in the storehouse freely, so that they don't cause any more mess, and so more people don't get involved. That way the rest of the monks can take care of the rest of the other guys. But again, they can't really do that because the other guys have like this incredible power. So it's a different thing. But I feel like he might use the storehouse to take, maybe potentially, all of the like other goons to I think the most viable option would be to take the goons to the storehouse and just keep them there for as long as he can while they take care of the sorcerer. And then once they take care of the sorcerer, then he can bring back the other goons and they can just wipe out the goons. I think that would be the most important thing. I think that could be like the easiest thing that they could do. Unless he takes the two sword bearers to the storehouse, and then it's basically like a get away from here. But again, he can't keep the storehouse open for so long. So I think the most viable option would be to take the goons to the storehouse so they can do their thing, so they can just be there and not get in the way, so they can focus entirely on the sorcerer. So I think that would be the most viable option, but we'll have to wait and see. And I can't wait for the whole Chihiro thing, because again, they are very much planning on getting rid of the sword bearers now. Because as a comment pointed out in the other video that I made, which shout out to that comment, these katanas are above the theater where Chihiro's at. So if they kill a sword bearer right then and there, the contract will be finished. And this other character will get that katana. So yeah, I think that could be a very big problem. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see y'all next time. So bye bye.